What's up, Tailgaters? My name is Tailgate Nate, and welcome to my college football channel. The AP poll came out about an hour and a half ago as of sitting down and recording this video. But you guys are now going to get a taste of what I think about some teams around the nation. This is my 2022-2023 preseason top 25. The rankings I do right before the season starts, and guys, we are 12 days away from college football in week 0, kicking everything off. If you guys are excited as me, hey, I do videos during the season as well, and now that I have the community tab open, I'll be doing some live updates and stuff on there. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so you know when videos get uploaded, community posts get uploaded, everything like that. You guys don't want to miss out on what I have to say this college football season. It could be a very, very exciting season indeed. And taking a look elsewhere, I mean, guys, thank you so much for the support on the channel. I did all 131 teams recently, which means I did your favorite team. If you want to hear what I have to say, hit the subscribe button. I got playlists on my channel you can go search through. And I thank you guys just for all the support on the channel lately. It's been crazy how much we've grown. I believe up to 100 or 620 subscribers last time I checked. So I appreciate you guys a lot. Let's dive into my top 25. So what you're going to see in my top 25 is, of course, we're going to go 25-1, starting with an honorable mentions list, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But also what you're going to see in parentheses is going to be a record. And the record, that win-loss record for that team, is what I have projected for that team. That's not like their final record, or it's not like their record from last season, or no, that is what I'm projecting that team to go. It had very minimal intake on this preseason top 25, but I thought it was neat to look at for you guys to put out there in case you hadn't watched or don't have the time to watch 131 college football preview and prediction. So diving into my honorable mentions, others receiving votes, whatever you want to call it. I call it my honorable mentions list. This is going to range anywhere every week from 5 to 15 teams, somewhere in there, on teams that just barely missed my top 25. And there were a lot more on this list that you could put up here, but let's go through it. Some teams out of the group of 5 that just barely missed. So App State, you could even throw in Coastal Carolina and Louisiana Lafayette in there as well. Those are two teams that did just barely miss out on my top 25. When you look elsewhere, some teams on the West Coast, a team in the group of 5, Fresno State, also some teams like San Diego State, barely missed out on that poll. UCLA, a team in the Pac-12 that missed my poll just by a little bit. You got some teams in the SEC like South Carolina, Florida, LSU, Mississippi State, all those teams you won't see featured in my top 25. A couple teams out of the Big 12 as well. Texas, I mean, they've had a lot of injuries lately, but also kind of unsure what to think about. Texas and Kansas State, West Virginia, couple teams that missed out on my top 25 poll there as well. And then in the Big 10 land, a lot of teams that you can make a case for getting in the top 25. However, Penn State did fall just short, and there are 5 teams in the Big 10 West that you could easily put in your top 25. Wisconsin is a team that's ranked by both the coaches and the AP poll. They're 20th in the coaches poll, 18th in the AP poll. I just don't think they're a top 25 team right now. I got to see quarterback play get better. And that defense, they did lose a lot from last year. We'll see how they look. Should still be fairly well. We know that rushing attack's going to be good. Same thing with Iowa. Iowa's got to get quarterback play. Minnesota, they have one of the more experienced units in the Big Ten. They just missed. And then a couple teams you see on screen in Purdue and Nebraska. My top 2 teams in the Big Ten West coming into this season. So, I mean, taking a look elsewhere, there are a lot of teams you can make a case for making the top 25. But let's get into now my top 25. Who did end up making my top 25 poll? Well, again, we're going to go 25 through 21, and you're going to see rankings trends on the left-hand side of your screen. That was from my poll in June, so that's based on where they've moved from my poll in June. And then again, the record in parentheses is my predicted record for that team in 2022. So starting at 25, going up, talk a little briefly about each team. At 25, I have Cincinnati. Now, Cincinnati is a team this season that returns Ben Bryant. Now, I know that says weird because he played at Eastern Michigan last year, but he was recruited by Cincinnati, so he is coming back to the Bearcats, will be that starting quarterback now that Desmond Ridder is gone, and we know how much talent Cincinnati lost last year on both sides of the ball. But they're still going to be one of the better teams in Group of 5, may even be the best team in the Group of 5 coming in to this upcoming season. The schedule is hard. There are some hard games on the schedule, but they very well could make a New Year's Six bowl game yet again. Tennessee here at 24th. Now, I like Tennessee a little bit more than the poll voters. They are not ranked in either the AP or the coaches poll, but I like Tennessee. I like Hendon Hooker. And I like what this offense has. It's an offense that plays at a very, very fast pace. I believe I saw somewhere almost 3 plays a minute, which is insane. That's a play almost every 20 seconds, which is crazy. But what's going to happen with Tennessee this year is that defense has got some question marks. And that offense may need to go in every week thinking, okay, we got to put up 30 to 40 points in order to win this thing. The thing about Tennessee, though, is their offense is capable of doing so, and that's why they are ranked here in my top 25. Wake Forest is here at 23. They dropped quite substantially from where they were in my poll last time. 19th in the coaches poll, 22nd in the AP poll. That loss of Sam Hartman does hurt. Again, we have no idea how long he's going to be out. We don't know when he's coming back. Hopefully, it is sooner than later. I know Wake Forest fans would prefer it to be before the Clemson game, but with that game being as early in the season as it is, probably not going to happen that way. Wake Forest is a team coming in this year that I still feel like is a top 25 team, even with the loss of Sam Hartman. I think no matter no matter who plays quarterback for them this upcoming season, again, you have A.T. Perry at their wide receiver, and it's an offensive mind, the offensive coordinator coming back that knows what he's doing, put up huge numbers last year and could absolutely do it again, even without his star quarterback this upcoming year. I got Wake Forest at 23rd. 22nd is Ole Miss. So Ole Miss, the defense did improve from last year, and the offense was really, really good. Well, they're losing that offensive coordinator, Jeff Lebby, I believe, over to Oklahoma. But you still got one of the best offensive minds there in Lane Kiffin as the head coach. And yes, they're losing a lot of pieces from last year. Matt Corral, a plethora of running backs. Some of the wide receiver room is gone as well. But Ole Miss has a lot of high-profile transfers coming in, especially offensively. Jackson Dart, Zach Evans, Ulysses Bentley. There's a lot of talent coming into that Ole Miss team, and some people are underrating this Ole Miss team, in my opinion. I think this is definitely going to be a top 25 team. Both of the polls think so as well. I got them maybe doing a little bit better than some people may think. 8 or 9 wins, I think, is a good range for Ole Miss. I got them at 9. That's a top 25 team, though, at Ole Miss. So, Pitt. They were not ranked in my June poll, but I have them ranked here. They are ranked in both the AP and coaches poll, 16th in coaches, 17th in the AP poll. Pitt is a team this year that I still feel like people are undervaluing a little bit, but and again, you might say, Nate, how can you say that? You are undervaluing them based on the voters. Look, Pitt is a team that I really like coming into this year. I think Keaton Slovis is going to do just fine at Pitt. Kanata Mumpfield, that's a name that you got to know, especially if you are a Pitt fan. One of the more important names in the nation this upcoming season. One of the more under-the-radar transfers. He's coming over from Akron, put up really good numbers there with a poor Zips team. I like what Pitt has this upcoming season. I got him here at 21st. Moving into the top 20, I got Houston and BYU. A couple Cougars here at 19 and 20. So Houston, I think, is the best team in the group of 5. Both of the polls, being the coaches and the AP poll, have them 24th and 25th. I have them in my top 20. Yes, Alton McCaskill is gone for the year. That would have been their starting running back coming into this upcoming season. But when I take a look at Houston overall, I mean, I just really like what this team has. I like Clayton Tune. I like Nathaniel Dell. I like a lot of their defensive pieces, even though they are losing their best defensive pass rusher. I think Houston's going to be really, really good again this upcoming season, and definitely, in my opinion, the group of 5's best team. BYU, another team with the nickname of Cougars, is here at 19. Now, BYU not ranked in the coaches poll, but ranked 25th in the AP poll, so getting a little bit of love there. But BYU is a team that I absolutely feel like should be a top 20 team. I mean, look at all the talent that they have coming back. That is a very, very, very talented BYU team. I think a lot of people are looking at that bowl game and saying that's what this BYU team really is. That is BYU's true team. It's not. I mean, you got to look at the entire body of work. BYU was really, really good last year. I think they're going to be really good again this upcoming season. I got them here at number 19. 18 here is Kentucky. Going back to BYU for a second here, I apologize. That schedule is tough. Maybe holding them back from a top 15 ranking as of right now, but BYU, I mean, they're going to have a tough time with the schedule, but man, will they have wins to prove how good of a team they are if they can pull some of the more difficult games out. Kentucky is here at 18. Now, I really like Kentucky this upcoming season. There is some unfortunate news. Chris Rodriguez may be facing a suspension. We don't know quite the details on that, but Will Levis coming back as the quarterback. Could be a first-round quarterback in the 2023 NFL Draft. You have Tavion Robinson coming over as a wide receiver for this Kentucky team. Kentucky, I think is going to be a good team this year. I think can make some noise in the SEC East, much like Tennessee. I think it's the second best team in the SEC East, a team that, if everything can go right, can win 10 or 11 games can win 9 or 10 games this upcoming season. I have them at 9. I think 11 wins is in the cards. It's going to be hard, but Kentucky here, definitely a team that I like coming into this year. I got them sliding in here at 18. Now, Michigan State I have at 17. Look, they're losing Kenneth Walker on the offensive end, that running back. That's a huge loss. But they're getting a lot coming back. Peyton Thorne is coming back to be that quarterback for Michigan State. And when you take a look elsewhere for this team, Jaden Reed comes back with Jalen Naylor's departure. Jaden Reed going to be that number 1 target this upcoming season. And even though Kenneth Walker's gone, they got a lot of running back transfers in there. Jalen Berger comes in. Jarek Broussard comes in. Jarek Broussard, a guy Mel Tucker knows really well as he was a former Colorado Buffalo. Played, I believe, under Mel Tucker for a season or 2. So coming over to Michigan State, a familiar head coach. The one thing that needs work on Michigan State is that secondary, right? If that secondary can improve, Michigan State's going to be a very, very good football team this upcoming season. I got Oklahoma State here at 16. Now, Oklahoma State, Michigan State, 15th in the AP poll, 14th in the coaches poll, by the way. Oklahoma State is 11th in the coaches poll and 12th in the AP poll. I think Oklahoma State's being overvalued a little bit. Spencer Sanders is coming back, so there is experience at the quarterback position, but you lose some of your better players at the running back and wide receiver position. You lose your defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles, over to Ohio State. So Oklahoma State definitely has some things to get figured out this offseason, in my opinion, especially defensively. I still like what this Oklahoma State team has. They're going to be one of the better teams in the Big 12 this season, but I feel like the polls may be overrating this team slightly, so I got them slated in here at 16th. Moving in now to my top 15. This is where I have the Arkansas Razorbacks. And guys, I got to tell you, the more and more I look at this Arkansas team, the more and more I like what I'm seeing, especially now that scrimmages are being a part of. They've got some really good players at wide receiver. Even with the loss of Treylon Burks, Jaden Hazelwood comes over from Oklahoma. KJ Jefferson is still there. Yeah, they lose Treylon Smith, but a plethora of really good running backs there for Arkansas. That defense is still going to be good as well. The only thing for Arkansas that may be holding them back from potentially a spot in the New Year's Six bowl game this season is that schedule. They have to play Cincinnati and BYU in non-conference, and they play in the SEC East. Just a brutal schedule for Arkansas. That's why I have them at the 8-4 record here, because it is a really, really tough schedule. But I love what the Hogs have coming back this year. They are top 20, but not 15. They're actually 23rd in the coaches poll, which is way too low. And then 19th in the AP poll, which again, I think is a little low. Oregon I have here at 14th. Now, Oregon, I'm getting a little shaky on Oregon this upcoming season. So Bo Nix is coming over to this team to be that starting quarterback with Dan Lanning. So the former Georgia defensive coordinator going to pair with the former Auburn quarterback, and hopefully they can get things working there. Now, Oregon loses a lot from last year. Wide receiver room, there's definitely some losses there. When you take a look elsewhere, at Oregon, there are definitely some question marks that have to be figured out. Definitely some things that need panning out for this Oregon team. They're going to be a top 15 team. They're one of the favorites in the Pac-12. I think they're going to be a good team. We'll see how Dan Lanning and Bo Nix can do here at Oregon. USC, I got at 13. Now, I think we all know what USC brings over. Lincoln Riley, of course, Caleb Williams following him. Just the amount of, USC won the transfer portal. If there was a team that won the transfer portal that was given a gold medal or a gold star for the best job in the transfer portal, USC would be that team. They're at 13th now, but I believe that USC could be a very, very real shot to finish with inside the top 10 this upcoming season. As you see, I got them as a double-digit win team this upcoming year. Some things that I think do need to be worked out here for USC. There are a couple questions I still have about USC, but overall, I like the Trojans this upcoming year. They're 14th in the AP poll, 15th in the coaches poll. I got them one spot higher than the AP poll. I got them at 13th. Lincoln Riley, Caleb Williams. I think it's all going to mesh really well there in Southern California. Oklahoma is here at number 12. Now, they are a top 10 team. in both the coaches and the AP poll. I don't see Oklahoma being a top 10 team yet. I want to see kind of how some things work out with Oklahoma. Jeff Lebby's coming in to be that offensive coordinator, though. Hey, he and Dylan Gabriel, who's a transfer quarterback coming in, are very, very, very familiar with one another. And for Oklahoma, they're definitely still, in my opinion, one of the favorites in the Big 12 coming into this upcoming season. Oklahoma's got a tough out-of-conference date. They have to go on the road in Lincoln to play Nebraska. That's Scott Frost's best team yet. Oklahoma definitely has some defensive issues to figure out, but now Brent Venables is that coach, the old defensive coordinator at Clemson. Some good things moving here for Oklahoma. I got them being shy, though, of a top 12 team. Miami is here at number 11. Now, I have them ranked higher than both polls. They're 16th in the AP poll, 17th in the coaches poll. So I'm well high on this Miami team. Now, Miami, I think, is going to be the real deal this upcoming season. But what I think is holding them back from a 10-win season are a couple things they have to work out on both sides of the ball. Yet Tyler Van Dyke is there at quarterback. He is going to be an electric player for Miami this upcoming season. I think Miami, though, with first-year head coach Mario Cristobal, and, hey, Mario Cristobal's alma mater, I do think Miami is going to lose a game that they quote-unquote shouldn't this upcoming season, which I think is what's going to hold them back from a 10-win season. They do have to go on the road to play in Aggieland, at Kyle Field, at Texas A&M. They have Clemson on the schedule there as well, Pitt's on the schedule, and they got some tough road games on the road at Virginia Tech. But Miami has got all the talent needed to be a top 10 team, and they're going to be a real threat in the ACC this upcoming season. All right, taking a look now as we move into my top 10, what I think are the 10 best teams in the nation this year. I got Texas A&M at number 10. Now, they are bringing in the best recruiting class, well, in college football history, right? That's all we've heard about Texas A&M this upcoming season. How many guys are going to provide a real impact on that team from that recruiting class? Only about a handful, right? Only about as many guys as I can fit in the palm of my hand, which isn't many. So Texas A&M definitely, I think, is still going to be a good football team, but now with Aniyah Smith having some off-the-field complications as well, who I thought was their best wide receiver there at Texas A&M. Definitely some things that Texas A&M has got to figure out. You know, what's that quarterback situation like? Is Haynes King really the guy there? I think 2023 is going to be the year of the Aggies. 2022, going to be a good year, but I got Texas A&M here at number 10. Number 9, I have at Notre Dame. Now, I had them 5th in my last poll, but Notre Dame I have here at number 9. They lose Avery Davis for the year. He's coming off an ACL injury and tore his other ACL. So no football for him this upcoming season. Tyler Buchner did just get named that starting quarterback there at Notre Dame. So we'll see how that works. I think the defense is going to be fine for this Notre Dame team. But again, how does Tyler Buchner work out with Kyron Williams gone? Is Chris Tyree really ready to step into that starting role? Notre Dame's going to be an interesting team to watch. I do think they are a top 10 team coming into this year with Marcus Freeman there now as the head coach. Notre Dame I got here at number 9. NC State is another team like Arkansas that the more and more I look at the Wolfpack, the more and more I like this team. I have them here all the way at 8th. They are 13th in the coaches poll and 13th in the AP poll there as well. I have them at 8th here in my top 25 poll. I think this is the best group of linebackers in the country. I think Devin Leary is for real. They do lose some other pieces around him on the offensive end. Emeka Emezi is gone. I believe that running back duo with Person and Knight, both of them are gone. But there is still really good talent on this NC State team, especially defensively. Again, what I think is the best group of linebackers in the country. One of the better secondaries in the country there as well. This is an NC State team that I think is going to be really, really good and is really going to challenge Clemson for that division in the ACC. You see Clemson here. We'll talk about them in a little bit. But Baylor I have here at number 7. Now, I'm higher on the Bears than most. They're number 10 in both polls that have come out, both preseason, the coaches, and the AP poll. I like what Baylor has this upcoming year. I think they could be the best team in the Big 12 this upcoming season. Now, that schedule is hard. They have an out-of-conference date with BYU and some tough conference games there as well. Of course, in the Big 12, everybody plays everybody, with it only being a 10-team conference as of right now. But Baylor, definitely a team that I like coming into this upcoming season. I trust in Dave Aranda. And, well, look, Gary Bohannon is gone, which I think for some people may have been a cause of concern, but Blake Shapen just beat him out. And from what I saw from Blake Shapen last year and the limited amount of time he played, I thought he was really good, and I kind of figured he would get this starting quarterback job. So that led to Gary Bohannon leaving town. Blake Shapen is not the guy that they had to go with, but it's the guy they chose. I really like what Baylor has this upcoming season, and I really do think that Baylor is going to be one of the better teams in the nation this upcoming season. My predicted record might not show that, but it is a difficult schedule. Clemson is here at number 6. Now, Clemson, very close to being a top 5 team for me, but there are things that need to get sorted out. First of all, that defensive line, they are losing a piece off that defensive line. I believe Xavier Thomas is a little bit injured right now. Don't quite know the whole story with him. But when you take a look at Clemson overall, I mean, Clemson, DJ Uiagalelei, right? The miserable season he had last year, well, in fall camp, they're really starting to work on DJ's game and get him ready for that week 1 matchup against Georgia Tech on the Monday night. So Clemson, going to be one of the best defenses in the country, going to be probably the best defensive line in the country. They got a lot of work to do offensively, but they're working on it. DJ already looks better, and Cade Klubnik, who is that 5-star recruit, figures to be getting some playing time for Clemson this year, but as of right now, DJ looks like the best quarterback in that room. So we'll see what Clemson does. I think they're going to be a really good defensive team. Could win the ACC absolutely this year and bounce back from last year. I got them sitting here at number 6. You guys probably have a good idea on who the top 5 are right now, but I'm going to show them to you right now. So Michigan, I have here at number 5. They are 6th in the coaches poll and 8th in the AP poll. Now, I may be an Ohio State fan, see the Block O on my hat, but I love what Michigan has coming back this year, especially offensively. And I think no matter who they start, whether that's Cade McNamara or J.J. McCarthy, I think Michigan's going to be doing just fine offensively. Their wide receiver room was a little bit banged up last year. They're getting Ronnie Bell back in. I think that's as deep of a wide receiver room as we've seen Michigan have within the past couple of seasons. That defense, yes, they lose a lot of talent defensively, and there's no question about that. I think Michigan's defense is still going to be pretty good this upcoming season, and that offense is also going to be pretty good. I think Michigan deserves a top 5 ranking. They made the playoff last year. They won the Big Ten. They beat Ohio State. I got Michigan here at number 5. Utah, I have here at number 4. They were 4th in my last poll, and I'm keeping them here at this place. I love what the Utes have. I am no higher on any other team in the nation than Utah. I love what the Utes have this upcoming season. Cam Rising coming back at quarterback. Some really good players at the wide receiver position, including in what my opinion is the best tight end room in the entire country, which can go 3 or 4 deep before you really have to start to have some questions about this Utah tight end room. I think they're going to have some good talent wide receiver wise. Tavion Thomas comes back at running back. He was really good for the Utes last year. Yeah, couple pieces gone off of the defense, especially the 2 linebackers there in Sewell and Devin Lloyd. But, I mean, just with what Utah did last year and with how good they looked overall last year, I mean, Utah, in my opinion, is a top 5 team. They are going to be a really, really good team this upcoming year, and I have them here at number 4. I love what the Utes have this upcoming season. Now, the top 3 should be no surprise. And honestly, if you're going to make a top 25 poll out there and not have these 3 teams in your top 3, I don't care in what order you put them in, but if those are your not top 3 teams, we need to have a one-to-one conversation, because those are the top 3 teams in the nation coming into this year. There's no question about it, and I think the major consensus is that Georgia is here at number 3. They won the national title last year, but all people are going to talk about is how much they lost off of last year's team. All the first-round picks on defense, all the talent offensively, a lot gone out of that running back room, and Jermaine Burton gone out of the wide receiver room. People need, and people are like, oh no, JT Daniels is gone too. But when you take a look overall at this Georgia program, Stetson Bennett is at quarterback. Now, Stetson Bennett, the consensus being he is what he is at quarterback, but I think he's a better quarterback than a lot of people give him credit for. I mean, he had the 3rd highest, I believe, the 3rd or 4th highest QBR out of any quarterback in the nation last year, and he won the national title for Georgia, and people are saying, well, he's just okay. I think Stetson Bennett is a well above average, if not good, if not really good quarterback. He's got some weapons around him. I don't worry about that running back room. I don't worry about that wide receiver room. Maybe a little bit of question marks there, but I think they have some good talent. I don't worry about that defense at all for Georgia. There are still first-round talent sitting back in the room for Georgia on every level of the defense. Keely Ringo, probably going to be their best defensive player, that defensive back that sealed the national championship for Georgia last year. Georgia, I have slipping up in a game this year, but there is no doubt in my mind that this is one of the best 3 teams in the nation coming into this year. And then there were 2. Everyone knows who the top 2 teams in the nation are. It's Ohio State, it's Alabama, and what order you put them in, kind of up to you. The consensus around the nation for the most part being that Alabama is 1 and Ohio State is 2. I mean, Alabama getting more of the first place votes than Ohio State in a lot of the polls, and Bama is number 1 in both the polls. I have no problem with that, but I have Bama here at number 2 because I do have more questions about Bama than Ohio State. Well, and I may be lying when I say that, but Bama definitely has some big concerns for me, especially being that offensive line. That offensive line last year was one of the worst in the SEC, one of the worst in the nation. They gave up a lot of sacks last year. I believe we're in the bottom 25 in terms of sacks allowed per game last year. Go look it up. It's a real stat. It's very un-Bama-like, even with the talent they had last year. And now they're expecting guys to just kind of slot in. True freshman last year, J.C. Latham, being a sophomore this year, they expect him to slot in. I mean, there's a lot of pieces around Bama that still need work. Jahmyr Gibbs comes in as a high-profile running back transfer, and when you take a look elsewhere around this Bama team wide receiver room, they're going to have to rely on a couple transfers. Jermaine Burton, Tyler Harrell coming in. That defense, well, I mean, come on. That defense is going to be really good. You have Will Anderson, Dallas Turner, some really good pieces in the secondary and defensive line there as well. The offense, definitely some question marks, and you wouldn't think that way when you return a Heisman quarterback winner in Bryce Young. But Ohio State is my number 1 team coming in. And call it bias, call it whatever you want. And hey, let's be honest, maybe there is a little bit of that coming into the season. But when I look at this Ohio State team, I do see the best team in the nation. Now, Alabama, again, if you want to put them at 1, go for it. Again, there's no real argument for me whether or not you have Bama or Ohio State at number 1. But I have Ohio State at number 1. I think that defense is going to improve tremendously with Jim Knowles coming in, and talk around that camp has been that defense is really good. And Ryan Day's come out and said, we expect a top 10 defense. I mean, what else do you want a head coach to say? But word is around that this Ohio State team is starting to look like a much, much better defense than the previous couple seasons. And offensively, we know what they bring to the table. C.J. Stroud, Travion Henderson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Marvin Harrison, a really, really good offensive line. I mean, this Ohio State offense probably going to be the best offense in the nation. The big question for them is that defensive side. Now, I think they have good players in every level of the defense. It's just a matter about fitting it all together. They have a good test in week 1 against Notre Dame that first week of the season. So both offense and defense will be tested. But Ohio State I have as my number 1 team in the nation coming into this year. Again, let me know what you guys think about my top 25. Let me know what you think I got wrong, what you think I got right. And hey, just a matter of opinion at this point. Everyone's top 25 is going to look a little bit different. But I thank you guys so much for tuning in to my preseason top 25. Please do remember to like, comment, subscribe, continue to help grow my channel. I really do appreciate all the support. And remember to play hard, but tailgate harder. I will see all of you guys in the next video. Goodbye.